Today we are going to explore the United States. The United States is one of the most geographically diverse countries on Earth. It has frozen tundra, burning deserts, active volcanoes, tropical wetlands, massive mountains, and endless plains, all inside one country. Some of these places feel more like another planet than part of the same nation. And once you see how extreme America's geography really is, you'll never look at the map the same way again. When people think about continents, they imagine Europe, Asia, or Africa, not a single country. But geographically, the United States operates on a continental scale. The continental USA alone is almost the same size as all of Europe. That means crossing the country involves passing through multiple mountain systems, deserts, forests, plains, and coastlines, all without ever leaving national borders. A flight from New York to Los Angeles takes nearly as long as flying from Western Europe to the Middle East. Entire climate zones change along the way. This scale affects everything: weather patterns, ecosystems, transportation, and even culture. Geographically speaking, the United States behaves less like a country and more like a continent compressed into one political unit. The United States is one of the very few countries in the world that borders three different oceans. On the east lies the Atlantic Ocean, shaping historic trade routes and densely populated coastlines. On the west, the Pacific Ocean defines dramatic cliffs, seismic activity, and vast marine ecosystems. And in the far north, Alaska reaches the icy waters of the Arctic Ocean. Each ocean brings a completely different climate, wildlife system, and geographic identity. Warm currents, freezing seas, tropical storms, and polar ice all connect to the same nation. No matter how you look at it, this is an extremely rare geographic advantage. Alaska is so large that it breaks most people's sense of scale. It is larger than Germany, France, Spain, Italy, and the United Kingdom combined. Yet it has fewer than 1 million residents. Much of Alaska remains untouched wilderness. Glaciers, fjords, mountains, tundra, and boreal forests stretch for thousands of kilometers. Some regions have never been permanently inhabited by humans. If Alaska were its own country, it would still rank among the largest nations on Earth. With one of the most extreme and untouched geographies humans have ever tried to live in. Very few countries can claim this, but the United States contains nearly every major climate zone on the planet. In Alaska, Arctic tundra and permafrost dominate the landscape. In the Southwest, deserts experience some of the highest temperatures ever recorded. Florida sits firmly in the tropical zone, complete with hurricanes and wetlands. Hawaii contains rainforests with extreme rainfall. California has a Mediterranean climate similar to southern Europe. All of this exists inside one country, making the USA one of the most climatically diverse places on Earth. The Great Lakes are so massive that they behave more like inland seas than lakes. Together, they contain around 20% of all the planet's surface freshwater. Standing on their shores, you often cannot see land on the other side. They generate their own storms, waves, and weather systems. These lakes played a crucial role in the industrial growth of North America. They connect inland regions to the Atlantic Ocean through thousands of kilometers of freshwater shipping routes. They also regulate regional climate, especially during winter. Cold air passing over the lakes can generate massive lake-effect snowstorms. The Mississippi River system is one of the most powerful river networks on Earth. It drains water from over 30 U.S. states, stretching from the Rocky Mountains to the Appalachian Mountains. For centuries, this river system shaped settlement patterns, agriculture, and trade routes. Seasonal flooding created extremely fertile soil across the central United States. This turned the region into one of the world's largest food-producing areas. Even today, the Mississippi remains a critical artery of American geography and economy. Few rivers in history have influenced a nation so deeply. Control of this river system shaped political and economic power for generations. The Appalachian Mountains are among the oldest mountain ranges on Earth. They formed hundreds of millions of years ago, long before dinosaurs existed. At one point, they may have rivaled the Himalayas in height. Over time, erosion wore them down into the rounded mountains seen today. Because of their age, these mountains are rich in coal and minerals. This ancient geology directly fueled early American industry. In contrast, the Rocky Mountains are much younger and sharper. Together, these ranges record vastly different chapters of Earth's history. In California, Mount Whitney rises as the highest peak in the continental United States. Just over 130 kilometers away lies Death Valley, the lowest point in North America. Few places on Earth contain such an extreme elevation difference in such a short distance. Snow-covered alpine peaks exist almost beside scorching desert floors. This contrast creates rapid shifts in weather and ecosystems. Within a single day, temperatures can change from freezing to extreme heat. It is a compressed version of Earth's extremes. Few landscapes demonstrate geographic intensity so clearly. Death Valley is one of the hottest places ever recorded on Earth. Temperatures here have exceeded 56 degrees Celsius. The valley lies below sea level, surrounded by mountains that trap heat. Rain can go years without falling in certain areas. When rain finally arrives, the desert can briefly explode with life. This cycle shows how fragile survival can be. Plants and animals here are among the most specialized on Earth. Geography dictates every aspect of life in this environment. Yellowstone National Park sits above a massive supervolcano. Unlike typical volcanoes, this system spans tens of kilometers underground. An eruption would not just affect the United States, it could alter global climate, agriculture, and ecosystems. Even today, geysers and hot springs reveal the system is active. Ground deformation shows magma slowly shifting below the surface. These signs are constant reminders of hidden geological power. Few countries live above forces of this magnitude. Hawaii is one of the few places on Earth where land is still being created. Its islands are formed by some of the most active volcanoes on the planet. As lava flows into the ocean, it cools and hardens, expanding the islands. Some Hawaiian islands are younger than many human civilizations. Beneath the ocean, even larger volcanoes continue to grow silently. One day, entirely new islands may rise above sea level. The map of the United States is still changing. This makes Hawaii a living geological process. No other country experiences more tornadoes than the United States. In a region known as Tornado Alley, extreme weather systems collide regularly. Warm air from the Gulf of Mexico meets cold air from Canada and dry air from the Rockies. This creates ideal conditions for violent storms. Even with modern forecasting, tornadoes can form with little warning. Entire communities are built with this threat in mind. Geography determines risk at a daily level. Few places live so close to atmospheric chaos. In parts of Alaska, the sun does not rise for weeks in winter. In summer, it barely sets at all. This phenomenon dramatically alters daily life. Sleep cycles, routines, and mental health are affected. Communities adapt using artificial light and strict schedules. Many describe the experience as psychologically challenging. Time itself feels distorted. Geography reshapes human perception. When counting Alaska and thousands of islands, the United States has one of the longest coastlines on Earth. These shores range from frozen Arctic waters to tropical beaches and rugged Pacific cliffs. They support trade, fisheries, ecosystems, and major cities. At the same time, this coastline faces hurricanes, erosion, and rising sea levels. Geography provides opportunity and risk. Managing this coastline is a constant challenge. Few nations face such coastal complexity. Traveling across the United States often feels like traveling across multiple countries. Deserts, glaciers, rainforests, wetlands, mountains, and plains exist side by side. This diversity shapes accents, lifestyles, and economies. Geography influences identity. Few nations contain so many worlds within one border. The USA is not one landscape. It is many landscapes connected. That is its defining feature. The United States is among the most biologically diverse countries on Earth. Its ecosystems range from Arctic tundra to coral reefs. This supports an enormous range of wildlife. Polar bears, alligators, bison, desert reptiles, and deep-sea species coexist. Protecting this diversity is a massive challenge. Geographically, the USA is a living museum. Few countries contain so much life. Diversity is written into the land itself. The Great Plains stretch across the heart of the country. They form one of the largest flat regions on Earth. In some areas, storms can be seen forming hundreds of kilometers away. This openness allows weather systems to grow massive. The plains became the agricultural backbone of the nation. But they are also vulnerable to droughts. The Dust Bowl proved this brutally. Geography can sustain and destroy. The United States has more than 60 national parks and hundreds of protected areas. These preserve some of Earth's most dramatic landscapes. From the Grand Canyon to Yellowstone, entire ecosystems are protected. Scientists study these areas to understand Earth itself. This commitment reflects geographic awareness. Not all landscapes are replaceable. The USA recognized this early. Geography was protected as heritage. The Mojave, Sonoran, Chihuahuan, and Great Basin deserts all exist within U.S. borders. Some receive almost no rainfall. Others experience seasonal monsoons. Temperatures swing violently between day and night. Despite this, life survives. Plants and animals here are highly specialized. They reveal nature's adaptability. Survival here is never guaranteed. Geography sets strict limits. Geography played a massive role in shaping the United States into a global power. Two oceans provided protection. Fertile land supported agriculture. Rivers enabled trade. Resources fueled industry. Geographic isolation delayed large-scale wars. This allowed economic growth. Power grew from the land itself. American influence is written into geography. When you look at the United States on a map, it's easy to see just a single country with borders and states. But geography tells a very different story. This land was shaped by ancient tectonic forces, massive glaciers, extreme climates, and millions of years of geological change. Frozen tundra exists alongside deserts. Ancient mountains stand near active volcanoes. Rainforests, plains, and vast wilderness all coexist within one nation. The United States isn't defined by one landscape or one environment. It is defined by contrast. And that contrast shaped everything. Where people settled, how cities formed, how industries grew, and even how power emerged. In many ways, American history follows the land beneath it. Geography is not just background, it is the foundation. If this video changed the way you see the map of the United States, let me know in the comments. Which place surprised you the most? If you enjoyed deep geography like this, make sure to like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And subscribe for more long-form documentaries and mind-blowing geographic facts from around the world.